It goes down the drain, but where does your wastewater go in the Grand Prairie region? Aquaterra would like to tell you how we take raw wastewater, treat it through a complex process, and return it back to the Wapiti River clean and ready to return to the ecosystem. The process, like everything that Aquaterra does, begins with you. Wastewater will snake its way through kilometers of underground pipe until it arrives at the wastewater treatment plant. The raw sewage, also known as influent, is lifted into the treatment plant by 2 screw pumps. The first step of treatment is for the raw wastewater to enter the treatment plant's headworks room. It is at this point that any grit and rags within the sewage is removed from the liquid stream before it enters the primary settling tanks. Once there, solids migrate to the bottom while grease separates and floats to the top. Heavy solids and grease are then separated from the liquid stream and are sent to the dissolved air flotation system for further treatment. While in the dissolved air flotation system, the solids and grease are thickened into sludge prior to entering the digesters. It is in the digesters that the microorganisms feed on the thickened sludge. The treatment process will continue until the sludge has met Class A sludge classification, which means it has a total and fecal coliform count less than 1,000 CTUs a gram. The digested sludge then goes through the sludge dewatering process, which occurs in large centrifuges. A sludge dewatering centrifuge uses the simple principle of spinning the digested sludge to force the water out through specifically designed screens. The dissolved and suspended particles remaining in the sewage following primary treatment then make their way through a bioreactor. At this point, the microorganisms that are under aeration use the dissolved and suspended particles as food for their own growth and reproduction. Odor control is an ongoing process of gathering gases that are produced during the treatment process. Air is drawn into the biofilter to reduce odors and is delicately balanced with the gases generated without impacting the digestion operation. Our systems are continually enhanced for optimization of this process. The treated sewage then enters the secondary clarifiers. It is here that the microorganisms are returned back to the system to be reused. After going through the secondary clarifiers, the treated effluent is now clean and ready to be returned to the Wapiti River. 80% of what Aquaterra takes from the Wapiti River to be treated for tap water is returned as treated effluent. Beginning in early 2013, Aquaterra will begin major upgrades to Grand Prairie's wastewater treatment plant. With Grand Prairie's population growing by nearly 18,000 people in the last 10 years, these upgrades are needed not only to keep up with past growth, but to allow for future growth in Grand Prairie. In April 2013, Aquaterra will begin construction on the second phase of upgrades that will cost nearly $58 million, $10 million of which has been committed by the Government of Canada. Aquaterra will see the addition of 2 new biological nutrient removal reactors, which will help us meet current and future regulatory requirements. There will also be the addition of 2 new circular secondary clarifiers. A new centrifuge building will be constructed to house upgraded sludge dewatering equipment. Through the upgrades, the wastewater treatment plant will see an increased hydraulic capacity, which will increase from the current 22 million liters to 34 million liters per day, an increase in capacity of 58%. These upgrades will allow Aquaterra not only to meet our regulatory obligations, but to also meet the regional growth that's in and around Grand Prairie. Grand Prairie is among many regions in Alberta and Canada that must increase wastewater treatment standards to meet new regulations. The current treatment plant was built over 25 years ago and is currently running at full capacity. Future growth in the region is tied directly to the treatment of wastewater. Aquaterra is continually finding ways to be more innovative, and upgrading the wastewater treatment plant is further proof that our vision is securely tied to the future. We want to promote further growth and development in our region while promoting our principles of innovating and leading the development of best practices and environmental stewardship. Remember, the next time you send something down the drain, it is only the beginning of a long journey back to the Wapiti River through an extensive and soon-to-be enhanced treatment process. Water, Earth, Innovation, Aquaterra.